So, like I said, if you're going to follow a guy like Jay Dyer, he takes a very presuppositional approach, and I would be very conscientious of that. I would be very, um, I would look at who he's involved with. He's obviously involved with clergy, but you know that clergy has mixed reviews about him, and I would heed their words and their caution with that. Um, and I would also kind of figure out the kind of line that he's taken as a celeb, because that's essentially all he is. He's just a person looking for attention who's converted to, I don't know what they exposed. Um, the How many people have exposed, both heterodox and orthodox have exposed his many different conversions and his involvement with Wiccans, fascists, people who are connected to being Satanists. Alexander Dugan being one of the main resources for that. And I continue to say this, but he's not a genuine Orthodox Christian. He is somebody who is just somebody that's looking for attention. He's just looking for attention. And that's all he's doing. He's not properly going about these things. He continues to talk about pop culture and how it's influenced with this and that and such and such. I mean, that's all great. You can do podcasts on movies and such. That's fine. But when he goes to critique and debates, he doesn't have a Christian spirit. He doesn't have the context to how. And sure, people could say he's led many to the faith. That's fine. But then he says, well, you only need to listen to these church fathers, but don't listen to those church fathers. And then, you just don't listen to your priest, just listen to me because I'm always right. Well, that's a very narcissistic attitude. And he has that. And that's the spirit that you see come out. That's his narcissism just beaming. And it should be a red flag for everybody, because there's always problems with him. And no matter what people say and want to be fans of his, they always say that there's certain issues that he has and he rubs them the wrong way. That's an issue. Because if you're going to be genuinely debating somebody and genuinely trying to break down their arguments and try to not only be, how can I put this, courteous to the conversation and, respectful to that other person, obviously they're not going to see things the way you do. But if you're genuinely an Orthodox Christian, well, we know that we have the fullness and truth, but yet at the same time, we are humbled by God, and we are humbled to know that. And that's an issue. That's an issue, because he takes these presuppositional approaches. He takes these things that he thinks he knows, and he's like, well, I only got half of this for you, but go to jaysanalysis.com to get more. No, this kind of information that you're trying to put out, you should be putting it out in whole. You should be trying to guide others. You should be trying to help others out. But yet he's just overbearing. He's just over exuberant in his deception. And the problem is that deception, it comes from his playbook and Dugan's playbook, that order of the 9 angles. It's all it is. It's all just been nothing but pure deception from the get-go. And you really have to be cautious of that, because if you're not cautious of that, then people will start believing, like, this deception gets thrown right in our faces. His fiance and wife were doing tarot card readings, and he was commenting on that, like he had to defend her honor, and he had to treat it like it was, oh, well, yeah, this is what I can do. This is what I can do, because I'm here just not really involved. I can say whatever I want because I'm on this. I have this pedestal. I have this platform to justify whatever I want. And the sad part about that is that people are led to believe this. People are led to believe that this is on how orthodoxy should be justified. And the problem with that is they're leading themselves right into a trap. And it's an ideological trap that people just don't realize. And when they come to realize that, you know, that they could, I don't want to say that it's not a good thing. It's definitely not a good thing. It's probably one of the worst things they can do, because what ends up happening is people expect their priests and the priesthood to be ideological. Then they expect them to just be impious. Then they expect them to just, you know, be preaching like the West is so known to do. And the issue with this is that they always have a sense of you know, justifying that. And now this is what led me to this. This is what inspired me with this. Beware lest anyone cheat you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. Colossians 2:8. Remember this verse when you see a new or old ideology. Inoculate yourself against being swept away by the latest fads, the latest fears, ideologies, mindset, etc. Keep yourself always centered upon the anchor Christ. Look to him like the ancient Israelites did to the bronze snake, that God commanded them to look in faith to be saved from poisonous snakes. Don't let yourself be bit by the poison of ideology. And that's just it. If you're led by that, if you think that's where it's going to go, especially with a guy like Dyer, you have to really, really be cautious about that. And you really have to seek, obviously, clergy members first, and men who are going to guide you correctly, instead of a hack e-celebrity who is involved, mind you, with a Satanist in Dugan.